Hi everybody from yet another crazy weather day. It's raining, it's sunny, it's gloomy, it's cold, it's windy, it's rainy again, it's sunny again. I just don't know how to deal with this. So you kind of just have to adapt. Luckily in this video I was able to cram in quite a few days of work down on the land, and I made a huge difference in how the place looks. Plus I also got my avocado tree in the ground finally, and just have a wonderful time being outside when the weather cooperates. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I'll see you guys again at the end of the video. Hi everybody, I've been hiding inside because, as usual, it's been raining, but the sun is trying to poke out, and that's a surprise. And even though it's cold and windy, I feel like I really need to dig the hole for this avocado tree because I've done a bad thing. I feel quite a lot of shame, and I'm not sure that this avocado tree is going to survive, but it's definitely 100% for sure not going to survive in the pot. It looks pathetic and sad, and it's all my fault. So I managed to solve the problem of the pooling water by adding a pipe on. It actually was leaking, and I had another leak over there somewhere, but I fixed all that, and it looks like everything is nice and dry. So what I'd love to do is use my enchetta, create kind of a, I don't know, an area to plant a whole bunch of things with a hole for a tree in the center, and then get the sad avocado plant in there. But before I do that, since the sun is out, let's take a tour around the weedy garden. So we've got some raspberries here. I don't see any fruit on these things, which isn't surprising because it's been horribly neglected. These have also been horribly neglected though. These are the blueberries, and we've got quite a few on the way, so that's exciting. I would love to ramp up blueberry production and really get those going because I eat a lot of blueberries and they're very, very expensive in the shops. And then over here we have grapefruit tree, which is looking pretty good. We've got some comfrey springing up again after dying over the winter. Then we've got Sinead's winter garden, or a portion of it, which is also very weedy. These are onions, so I should probably pull those up and see what they're doing. This is garlic, and I'm very curious to get that out of the ground to see what that looks like. All the beets are still here. I need more beet salad in my life. The parsley is going nuts, but it's starting to bolt. We've got loads of it. And the goji berry probably needs a trim. I have no idea how to do that. The lavender also needs a trim. This madrono tree is really growing nicely. Definitely needs a prune. And you can see some small madrono fruit, I suppose. Also called a strawberry tree, on the way. These have never really turned into the actual fruit. They always kind of just fall off before they, yeah, they're just really hard, and then they fall off before they turn into the fruit. But you can use those to make some sort of an alcohol. And then I've got my kiwi plant over here. Again, also needs a prune, but I'm happy to see that this is alive because it's yet another thing that's been neglected. This is what happens to me in the winter. The garden gets neglected because I'm always so overwhelmed by the work in the summer. So this is my lime tree. No limes on the way. I don't know if it's a season yet for that. And then over here we have the cherry tree finally flowering. It's looking okay. Don't exactly know how a cherry tree is supposed to look. The ones across my lane look really nice, and obviously this is a very new tree, but it's nice to see some signs of life coming up and down the branch there. So that's the garden, even though it is at the moment more a garden for weeds. They're thriving, they're loving life, and it's going to be a lot of work to get it back to a usable state. The geotextile fabric has done nothing. The grass has just poked right through, which is going to make pulling it out probably quite difficult. So that's another challenge ahead. Right now, I'm going to dig a hole and make some space for my beleaguered, sad, depressing, almost dead avocado tree. So I have this really weird mountain of soil mixed in with stones. I don't remember why it's like that, but it's kind of annoying. So what I might do is drag it over here, flatten out this area, cover the pipe up. I might leave this exposed just to monitor it. I just get rid of the mound because it's unsightly. I mean, this is also unsightly. This is my dumping ground area, but this doesn't need to be here. It's an easy fix. I'm gonna drag it over there, flatten the space out. Okay, job done. Let me tell you, it was freezing cold all day today, and now it's about, I think, 5 p.m. and it's roasting. So the sun being out makes all the difference. I should probably change my clothes, but you know what? I know once the sun goes away, it's gonna be cold again. That's just how the weather's been. It's been a nightmare. So, I love this little tiny shovel. I'm gonna dig a hole for the tree. Maybe somewhere around here. Okay, so as it turns out, the tiny shovel isn't so great for digging holes. It was really tricky to get down there. This one is much better and did the job. The tiny shovel, though, will be great for digging up this comfrey and dividing it out, which I'll do later. I'd love to plant this around the avocado tree and then also research what else will be good to companion plant with it. Because right now, this thing is a zombie looking tree and it needs a lot of help. There's some signs of life, but honestly guys, I screwed up, I dropped the ball, I didn't get it in the ground, I didn't protect it from the winter. And the weather has been wet and cold, and I don't think avocados like that. In fact, this is proof that they don't. So I'll put her in the hole and do my best to bring her back to life, and if it looks like she's about to perish, I might actually replace her with a brand new avocado tree, which isn't an ideal situation. I should really care for the trees I have, but I gotta say, I don't know, as one person on the land of my size, which is about an acre, 1,800 square meters, it's a struggle. So I don't know how people manage who are doing loads and loads of things on their land as one person. A lot of people have a couple of hectares, and it boggles my mind because I can't even keep a tree alive that's literally sitting next to my front door. So that's bad, and I told you, I feel shame, I'm not proud, but maybe I can bring her back to life. It's gonna be a fun experience. So into the hole, besides the tree, I'm also gonna put some sort of a mix of stuff. And I just wanted to point out that here we have what were once dry poo pellets. And I don't recommend leaving these dry poo pellets in an open bag out in the rain. It's dried horse manure basically, and you can handle it. It doesn't smell very bad. However, hydrated, it's not great. So I've got some seriously stinky stuff to deal with. I'm gonna mix it up, a portion of it anyways, with this stuff. And then I'm gonna add some soil that I took out of the hole over there. Mix it all up into a lovely cocktail, and then bed the beleaguered avocado tree into that. Okay, the mix is made. I've added some sand in just for drainage, and also some soil from over there. And as it turns out, rehydrated horse poo pellets are as gross, or maybe even more gross, than you could ever imagine. Living the dream, guys, living the dream. So I'm gonna stick some in the hole, build it up about halfway, stick the tree in, cover it, and then the job will be done. So let's go. So I have been known to plant a crooked tree or two, or a dozen trees, or maybe every tree I ever plant seems to be a bit crooked. But in this case, I don't think it's the placement of the tree, I think it's the tree itself. Inside the pot, she was supported by stakes, and as I've mentioned, and as you can see, she's been sorely neglected. So I think with a little bit of finesse, some stakes, and a little bit of love, I'll be able to get her straight in the hole and ready to grow, I hope. Okay, my avocado tree is finally in the ground at long last. This has been a very long time coming. My deepest apologies, little tree. I'm sorry, it's entirely my fault. I've also added some comfrey, which is one of my favorite plants ever. It's really good for making fertilizer. And I'm gonna research what else to plant around it, probably more comfrey and a few other things so I can make a guild to support the tree. I'm definitely open to suggestions, but I'm gonna do some of my own research as well. So let's give it a drink and call this work done. So with all this crazy rain we've been having, I don't think I need to give it too much of a water, but whenever you plant something new, I feel like I've been told you're supposed to give it a good water once you get it in the ground. Anything you're transplanting or anything you're planting brand new. So let's give it a little drink and then say a tree-related prayer or two that this lovely avocado tree thrives in its new home. That'll do. So I'm very happy with that little flurry of work. I hope the tree is happy. And I see Larry over here. How are you doing, little guy? Are you also feeling happy? Enjoying this lovely evening? I'm not gonna pet you because I think my gloves are pretty gross. Sorry, dude. Enjoy your evening, and I'm gonna do the same because it really is very lovely out here. And I'll see you again, hopefully tomorrow, weather willing, as usual. Okay folks, so the weather is willing for the moment. Sinead's down there out on the strimmer trying to take advantage of the sunny, well, sort of sunny day. I can feel some raindrops coming down even though the sun was out just a moment ago. So it's a little frustrating. So she's going for it down there, so that's what the noisiness is. But I thought while I'm down here, I would show you, I guess, the chaos of the greenhouse. I don't know what to do with this thing. It's pretty handy for my deck, but I don't really know where to store it. But I thought I'd pop in here and show you that about half of my jalapeno plants seem to be popping back to life. Once I see one little leaf pop up, you know it's going to be fine. So the ones at the front don't seem to be doing so well, but let's give them time and see how that goes. And then I had this entire table filled with tomatoes, and probably about 12 of them got munched. So that's why I have my other plants inside. These are artichokes, which I've never grown before, but could be interesting. And so things are coming along nicely there. I've got a good variety, a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes, because I love them. And you'll notice that I left quite a good number of my jalapenos outside, and I ended up uncovering them because it was kind of too much of a nightmare to keep that stuff on it. And you'll see that it's got some leaves growing. So it was kind of an experiment, combination of an experiment with laziness, and it seems like about the same number, about half, are springing back to life already as in the greenhouse. So that's quite interesting to see that the ones that have been left outside over winter seem to be coming back to life at the same rate as the ones inside the greenhouse. So I thought I'd pay a visit to the avocado tree this morning. And he's looking much the same as he was last night. Sad. But I think I'm gonna give him a name. He is my 4th attempt at an avocado tree, and I'm pretty sure I called the last one Alvin, so this one can be Alvin the 4th, and hopefully he thrives in his new location. Well, the rain started, so that's really annoying because I have all that stuff ready to do a burn pile. I was hoping to do it later today. I've got the tool of joy on a stick, and I was gonna head down to the bottom terrace to clip off some trees. It's not coming down super hard right now, so I might just brave it until I have to run away. So there's one up really high that I can't get to, and looking up is just making me quite dizzy. And for some reason my eyes are watering. I don't know if it's what that's about. Maybe I'm tired because there's no wind or anything. Who knows? It is actually good to have Sinead here for many reasons, but one of the, I don't know, maybe reasons I just thought about is how motivating it is to have a hard-working friend right next door, because I feel like I was very cold this morning and I could have very easily just stayed in my house doing stuff inside and not getting out on the land. But when I heard her out in the strimmer, I was inspired. And so I've got a few more branches to trim off here. I'm gonna drag the branches up to the burn pile, register it, and then I think I'll do a little bit of strimming and possibly do a burn later on today, because I have a lot of stuff to get through over here. It's a nightmare in there. And as I mentioned in a previous video, the ticks are out, so if I can get rid of as much grass as possible, that'll be good. Just a little bit more. Okay, that'll do. Now I've got to do some dragging branches around up to the top to prepare for the burn. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with this and check in again when I have something a little more interesting than dragging tree branches around. So as I keep saying, the weather has been extremely weird. I've been at the mercy of it, and it's been really cold as well, and for some bizarre reason, I decided that I was done with fires. It was mostly because I'd run out of firewood and I really just couldn't be bothered to go cut more. I couldn't be bothered to go to the forest and get more pine needles, and they were wet anyway. So I've been living without fires and just relying on my electric blanket. But I caved finally because it got too cold, too damp, and finally put a fire on, and it was actually very wonderful. But of course, once I did that, the sun came back out, and so I decided to go down back onto the land with the tool of joy on a stick, and I clipped some more branches. And I'm really glad that I did, because going down and finishing off all of the little bits I'd missed was very satisfying, and it just made everything look so much better. Okay, it's a new day. I've been to yoga and had a slow start, but I managed to register the burn pile for today, and this is where I'm at. And if I'm honest with you, I think I might have gotten a little carried away. I was doing some more snipping just now as well, because no matter how much you chop, you always see a few stragglers, and it really is hard to, I don't know, cease the destruction. Most of what I chopped was dead branches, and it really does make a massive difference. Perhaps the average person wouldn't really notice, but I notice a big change. The trees are looking a lot less zombie-like without all of the dead branches sticking up and out everywhere, and I really couldn't be happier. And now I need to get rid of the evidence, basically. There are lots of shoots still on the bottom of the trees, but my mom likes doing that job, and she's gonna chop those up into mulch, I think, when she gets here. So I'm gonna save those for later and just burn the rest, because the dead branches are really kind of unruly. They're not good for mulch, they're annoying, and so we're just gonna burn them. So I'm gonna start the fire here. There's a rock under here, and I've done a little bit of prep already. I've wet all around this area, even though the grass is green. Wetting things a little bit more is just a nice precaution, even though it has been raining loads. I've got a bucket here, a bucket there. The hose is on if I need it. I've got the tools I need. I've got the snipper down here just in case I want to take a wander and get a few more branches once the fire gets going. And I've got a very dodgy looking, I don't know, fire ready to go. But most importantly, I have the blowtorch. I also have my audiobook in my pocket, because once this thing gets going, I'm probably not going to be leaving it for a couple of hours. Might not take that long, but you never really know. So since it's been really wet, many people have been starting their burn piles by chucking gasoline on it and just lighting it like that. I'm not morally opposed to that. It's just a little bit of gasoline, but it's far away. I can't be bothered going to get it, and more than that, I've heard some stories, and I value my eyebrows and eyelashes, and I would prefer not to incinerate them. So I'm gonna try it this way. I've got some fire lighters in there, I've got some cardboard, I've got a whole bunch of scrap bits of wood that are dry. They've been in the polytunnel. I've got some leaves, which should go up well. They've been sitting on that pile for quite a while. And then hopefully I can get this going. That's gonna be the hardest part. And then I'll just continue to add to the pile, keeping it nice and small as I go, and then slowly all of that will be gone. So fingers crossed this works, because I really don't want to have to get the gasoline tank out. We should probably turn the camera off and actually focus on getting this started, so I'll be back momentarily. So it's hard to tell if it's going yet, but things are looking positive. It's about 20 to 1 right now. I'm hoping this just takes me about an hour, but I don't know, it's anyone's guess how long it'll take. I've only done a burn pile maybe a couple times before at friends' places. So now it's just a matter of waiting for it to get going, dragging stuff around, sticking an audiobook on, and enjoying a lovely day. So that was the last branch put in. One more. And here's Sinead. She's delivering me lunch. Soup in a cup.
Soup in a cup.
How about that? Another amazing advantage of having a motivated...
I thought you were going to be here for a while.
Yeah, me too.
So come to go. There you go.
Sweet. Does it get any better than that?
Honest to God. Honest to God.
So do you want to get cozy, get close,
Honest to
get
God.
warm?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you good from here?
Honest to God.
Yeah, it does give off a bit of heat, doesn't it? So, I guess I'm going to enjoy my soup. Job well done. Cheers. And yeah, I'll see when this is a smoldering pile of ash. So the soup was delicious. Soup by delivery is even better, thanks Sinead. And the fire is almost done. So I probably could have left the fire going a little longer. I've still got some bits in there. But I got a little excited with the rake, and I think I've mostly put it out. So I'm kind of fed up with this anyways. I've been doing it for about an hour and a half. Whoop, that's muggy. And so, put this bad boy out. Woo! That is very satisfying. I'm gonna get the hose on that again until it stops steaming, and then I'll be left with a bunch of charcoal, which maybe I can do something useful with, who knows. So that was messy, hot, and yeah, quick. It only took an hour and a half, but I am quite exhausted because it is smoky and unpleasant and yet also satisfying. It's a very confusing task, but I'm so happy to have the land cleared. Everything looks so much better and it feels like a fresh start for the summer season. So let's put this out and then I'm gonna call it a day. Good morning. It's quite early and I haven't even really started my day. No coffee, no breakfast has been had, but I noticed a rainbow at the front of my window and I wanted to come out and take a look. And I also might as well say hello to the little kitty cats. Hi, Mikey. What's up? How's it going? He's enjoyed his breakfast. Larry's enjoyed his breakfast. Everybody's rising and shining. And I really can't think of a more wonderful way to wake up than to a glorious rainbow like this one. How wonderful. So it's a beautiful morning. It's a little cold, a little windy, but I think it's going to be a nice day today. And starting the day with something like that is really just wonderful. So it's put me in a great mood and I'm looking forward to a fantastic rest of the day. So this is the current state of affairs with the weather. It is gloomy, it's raining, but would you believe it? About 10 minutes ago, the sun was out and it was beautiful. And so I got my strimmer gear on. I'm ready to stick the mask on. I have a bag of 8 batteries ready to go. And I've been foiled by this insane storm. This is after a lovely day. I had brunch with some friends. We went over and ate and had a lovely meal, and then we made some ferments together. And then, moments after the sun was shining, of course the rain came down, and then the sun came out again, and I thought I could get out on the land, but I can't. So, I don't know, this is just how it is. So I want to trim the bottom terrace around the well, and that's gonna be a really fun job. So I'm gonna save that for the next video. This one's been long enough, and I feel like I've made a lot of progress. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, mostly focused on land work. Besides the little strimming flurry that I have to do still, I think I'm mostly finished with land stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a good one. It's always great to get out on the land, and I loved it. And it's just nice to have all those branches cleared away and the trees looking much better. And Alvin the fourth, the avocado tree, finally in the ground. That feels good as well. So thanks for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.